Hello, everyone. Welcome to another day of life lessons from the Soul's Journey lesson deck. Let's get right into today's topic so we can move into our discussion. Today, we are going to talk about forgiveness. This is such a powerful thing to do, to forgive someone, and it's also the hardest thing to do, right? As we go through life, we've all been there. I've been there where we go through certain situations or experiences where we feel wronged, where we are hurt, we feel let down, we feel frustrated. And it's very difficult for us to forgive someone, right? We, in our mind, in this fear-based mind, we believe that we need to punish this person, or that if we forgive them, that we're saying that that's okay that you did that. That's not it at all. Sometimes I think we have the wrong definition or perspective on a lot of things in life, forgiveness being one of them, right? If we're not forgiving, we are holding that resentment. And there's a beautiful quote that says, holding resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It is so true, right? Holding that resentment isn't hurting anyone else except ourselves. Why do we torture ourselves and punish ourselves that way, right? Forgiveness is really about saying, I'm not going to hold this negativity anymore, and it's kind of throwing it back out there for whoever else to make their own choice, whether they want to attach to it or not, right? And again, we need to understand that each and every other person is also going through their own journey, and we've all done things in life that we maybe don't feel good about, or in hindsight we realize that was not the best decision, or sometimes our emotions, especially the negative ones, take us so deep into a place of fear, and we say and we do things that we don't really mean, or we hurt other people sometimes. And it's all part of going through life, right? And remembering that the only thing we have control over is how we deal with everything inside of our own self. And so the best way to really find that freedom is to forgive. And for many of us, there is a lot of forgiveness needed, things that we've buried deep down inside. And sometimes the biggest forgiveness that we need is for ourselves. We are very hard on ourselves, right? So we need to stop trapping ourselves into this cage of resentment and starting to move to forgiveness and releasing all of that negative energy. Because holding on to it, it's like drinking poison, and eventually that emotional discomfort does turn into a physical discomfort, and we do become sick, become ill or diseased. So there are different ways that you can move through forgiveness if you are struggling. A lot of times it comes down to different beliefs, learning to change our beliefs. Sometimes different energy healing or coaching can be brought in to help better understand the situation. Sometimes we need to have that understanding in order to be able to kind of let it go, but sometimes we just need to accept. Right? Just like we talked about, I believe it was yesterday in the video about acceptance. Sometimes we just got to accept that that's the way it is. We can't do anything about it other than choose how we respond. So we can choose to drink that poison, or we can choose to just put that poison aside and move on in a more positive and more joyful way. All right? There are other great tools also. Ho'oponopono is a wonderful Hawaiian tool that can be used to help forgiveness if you're really, really feeling that resistance. And if you are, maybe reach out to me and I can help you with some resources or have a discussion a little bit more about it. But I just want to keep this into a short message, just helping you to start to think about this and start to move towards this, right? So my suggestion for you today is to sit down for a few minutes and think about who Are you maybe holding a grudge against? Who do you have some anger towards? Who really just kind of pokes you and pushes those buttons, right? Make a list of those people or that person. Identify where you're holding resentment. And then start to move to forgiveness. And some of you may have one or two people that you've got to work through. Don't forget to include yourself, right? And some of you may have quite a list, and that's okay. The more you move to forgiveness, the more you move into freedom, and it feels good. Sometimes it's a matter of sitting down and even working through affirmations, right? Grabbing a notepad and just writing out, I forgive so-and-so, I forgive so-and-so, or saying it out loud. And it doesn't feel good at first, and that means that you're not really authentic about it and you don't believe it, and that's okay. The more you say it, the more you do it, the more you start to believe it. Or maybe take it one step further and approach that person, have a conversation, and just say, I don't agree. And that's okay. We can agree to disagree. You don't have to agree with someone to like them or to be respectful of them, right? And just maybe sharing that you have felt wronged, that you felt hurt, but that you're not going to hold this grudge, that you're not going to hold this resentment, and that you're bringing forgiveness to the experience, to the situation. And I think the key is in how you say that. Sometimes I think if we say, well, I forgive you, we're telling that person they're wrong. But in their mind, they may be very right. I think if you can express it in a way where you say you are bringing forgiveness to the situation, it takes the blame off of everybody, including yourself, right? And it makes it easier for anyone else involved to also accept that as well, and maybe bring some closure to whatever it was that was creating this hamster wheel of turmoil, so that everybody can move forward in their own way, more lovingly, and without holding that poison and keeping it inside. So make that list, move towards forgiveness. And again, if any of these topics you want to chat more about, or you need some more resources or help with, reach out to me. Contact me through Facebook, through the website, email me. I'd love to hear from you. Have a fabulous day.